All right, this is Philip Lawrence Sherrod, poet. I'm going to attempt to read a verbal spoken word of a book that was published called 30 Mental Talia, Poems and Paintings. The original cover, if I can get you to see the original cover, if and when you get the book, try to get the original paperback cover. 30 Mental Talia, Poems and Paintings. There's a picture of myself when I was a young man with dark hair, about 37 on. Again, the book was published in 1980. The ISBN number is 0-934-536-03-1, and the Library Congress card catalog number is 79-92293. It's a first edition. It was published by Merging Media in Westfield, New Jersey, and printed by LAWTON Press, New Rochelle, New York. The title is a dedication to my first attempt of poetry, and it was for myself, the locust goddess and the muse of ecclesiastical circles. Then there were 7 paintings included in the book in black and white, of which here is a piece. New York City called Eruption. A cover shot, which is this, is titled Jackie, and that's up at the Worcester Museum in the Worcester collection. And when I was invited up, when they received the painting and had me up for the inaugural presentation, they hung it across from Picasso's rooster peeing on weeds. And again, I'm going to take my time here because this manuscript, again, this painting called Eruption is on the cover of the book of poets being published of W.H. Auden and E.E. Cummings and Ezra Pound and the 20th Century Masters in Poetry. And then there is the Ode to Fertility, which was the dedication to myself and Elena, my second wife, which Ode to Fertility, which represented an achievement of marriage for art or of art, dedication to matrimonial success in art. The next is a dedication of Procession on Broadway, They're All Topless, You're All Topless, which was the period of about the 70s into the 80s, which, this is the painting in black and white, which was a dedication to America trying to break its guilt-ridden repressions. Then there was a painting I did that is called, I'm going to wait till I get to it, which is in my possession, in my permanent collection, which is the sister of my second wife, Doris de la Cruz, and that is titled Doris of 42nd Street, Times Square, And then the painting called Resurrection of a Camel, which is a piece owned by, I think, Ira Cohen, a brain surgeon, or was it Inger Yerby, in Inger Yerby's collection. Then Mr. Gross's Fascination. It's interesting visiting paintings which to me seem almost like someone else's, via that there's been so much time passed. And these papers of the book's publication were put on a pretty good paper in that. This was owned by Richard Brown Baker and is out in California in one, maybe the Los Angeles Museum. And that was just half of it, because the piece was 115 inches. It was 38 inches by 115. Now, the credit of the photo of myself goes to Egils Kronlins, which was a Latvian friend of mine at the time, and had a good camera, or at least better than mine. Now, the poems themselves: 30, Mental Talia; 1, Obscene; 2, Tuesday; 3, Thee; 4, Backbiting; 5, Trained; 6, Blood; 7, Man; 8, February 27th; 9, Subway; 10, Landscape; 11, Seams, like seams in a piece of cloth sewn; 12, List out of Lip; 13, Tired; 14, In; 15, 2.5 miles; 16, Apparition; 17, Face; 18, Realism; 19, Dumb; 20, At Another Exhibition; 21, A Trilogue, It's; 22, Elm; 23, 9/11; 24, Caroless; 25, N2, and that's Roman numeral 2; 26, Natalie Dia; 27, Seeing; 28, Social Divers; 29, Ocular Ornithologist; and 30 was me, or is me. Now, this book again was published in 1980. Obscene flakes flying past 70 miles per hour. Each dandruff design axled out from center fold, open, hot, melting, as penthouse girl spread eagle, and icy as snow. Tuesday. In the pits, living strong, 10,000,000 lines stop, baring their chest, slipping the shoulder with only eyes to eyes contact, feet on the living treadmill, turning constant lives to instant death, easy music filtered by intercom, intermittent, incestuously inescapable, tainted, millions mass murdered by mass media, heads constantly mass turned by the word handwriting on the wall, humidity in graffito. How will our handwritten hieroglyphics compare to ancient Egypt? crypts, or Inca, or Mayan, a lost civilization. In the tubes, subways, tunnels of dark light tracked by an airier conscience. For the life of me, more fun is mental work like physical time without action, fulfillment, exercise and futility like life, or her, my love, am lonely, 2 more days with a hit man. If I could make a hit with an S, success, known only by the heart count pumping out the introverted images, my blood, my kin taken from me, my look like, my wood grain sun solid, plus some other such mystery makes my boy, my Ari, eager to see some flying plank, a chip off of the old block, head beheaded lying on couch, psychological symbol, Judith beheading Holofernes. No Cupid or psychologist or bad dreams can place this lamb to slaughter on the new chopping block like Abraham his knife raised, or my father with his belt raised. Buckle my knees or strap the back with words, son, this is going to hurt me more than you. Backbiting Natalie, would you were white light, pure spirit effervescing, quivering flesh, Postino-like in old tradition, Italianized, canonized, spaghetti eyes, and kept in a black hole in space, glowing, a glowworm glowering, your spirit without word, your dark nature mysterious as Leonardo's landscapes, flowing wet liquid dyes 100,000 times an hour like a female Aquinas, wet with the lighted word agua. St. Thomas, to be sure, never contented with watered-down suburbia, or Joan of Arc never saw light. Not French. Your kiss is fatal as Judas's fatali natali, as pastel as God, and smooth as the sword of Sardanapalus. Sex hooking it up with space and with your Jesus, lack of love skills. You could never kill your image of man, housewife, fishwife, lover of your lunar quagmire. Guadalajara was a nice place to rub off on. Pornographic as glow worms agitating the night. Like these images. You stick out like a sore black thumb. Trained, crowded cattle cars, cows with an F, human bovine bipeds sunk to the situation, sexless stand-ins, hot breaths, baths of bad digestion, armpits belching, out the sweated word, heartfelt and hereafter and triumphant. Money keeps them on their feet. Common dilemma of us born faithful, of one more system than when we get home, our 2 cars, our 2 TVs, 2 dead souls on our 4 hands. This time, if I didn't get a raise like Lazarus, walking on 2 feet, a social leper feminist, God damn your Jesuses democracies. I straightened out the files A to Z. Tonight, it's Delilah on Channel 4. Samson and us Samsonites will slay the Philistines like cattle. Blood. Blood, the Blue Cross, Blue Shield, a modern night, blue night, tipsy trying till blue in the face to get the grand hospital plan. No tin sardines squeezed into modern tin man's dilemma, squeaking at the joints. No oiled Cervantes can quixoted out, wrestling windmills, a blue angel like Jacob. Drunk as you please, if you please, floating the liquid with a blue gypsy, stewed in the juice, cubistic as hell, squared as brocked bric-a-brac in suburban declaration, decor of a past life, drinking in the booze, bamfoozled, high-lifed and lit, the blue note, a blue harlequin riding a blue noon. Nurse says, your middle name? Cough. You graduated from? Give me a specimen. Do you take VID-C? The pain is, sign on this dotted line. Christ, what's this? Blue X, blue blood. Even if Christ was yellow, he should have stuck around, faced middle age, and told Uncle Sam he had no dependents. A wet bird's worth two in the bush. Man, guilty of time, guilty of being guilty of the time it takes to be guilty. To be guilty with slight resentment, slightly feminine, in total disregard of the female, I sit up slightly falling for the femiality of it all. Reality of dawn, another night with the gods, failing our language to spell out the song of the cave, the dark secrets, the water of time drips downward into the nest of subconscious sleeps. What man dares raise a finger at this point? I made A's at the spelling bees before God forgot the word crisis of a verbal Narcissus, frozen by his speech. No God suffers an epileptic tone, spaced out by local vocals, resting 7 days after a one-word week. February 27th, sleet slips into the horizontal past. Train the hum. Hoboken blacks like bees hum, black as suburban hornets' nest. Who stirred them up? Maybe Cassius Clay, like mud dauber, muddled down deep, pugilist, prejudice, with right hooks, left crosses, not Christian. Martin Luther, educator, bedded down, a king to rest. 6 foot under teacher, pure excuse for a future sarcophagi. Eaten out. Without the Christ, the exit, stone rolled over, the color changes. Black to white, to snow, crisscrossing of snow tires, to tracks, roads leading nowhere. Archaeologists say, like plain of Nazca, in the track, questions, no future spaceman or Superman on the loose with answers, but small instructor of smaller summit center, dead on his feet, teaching a life class for art. Subway, staring down, stocking cap and all, arms crossed, eyes tilted to the floor. Christ of subways, subbing it, gathers no moss. Christian North days are over, so are Roman nights. Lichen grows in the wound, the belly aches, no time to scratch feelings. Gross, probing deeper than a Savior's life. Time again rears its ugly head. I X'd out. How many men have lost it for a cause? Mother of mothers, all Mother of Marys, hail! Mom can't reason out the season with fact-filled fate. We did the best, gave him the best. He was the best boy. Over on the floor, cover of matches burned out, and the dead head of John F. Kennedy. Landscape tracks like rivets of a backbone plague. The eye, insects of steel and bolt, shift to sands of love emotion. Time holds out to sentiment, to will, travel through the dumps, up and down, barrels, oil drums, old cars of imagination, our little miseries, our little joys. To see again fresh upon the tracks like Daniel Boone or Kit Carson, no river of time, but river of wind blowing. The smile of dreams into childhood, the cork cocks the lip, bottleneck the written message. The special message makes me Robinson Crusoe in a land of innocence. You are God, you are God, the fisherman, spread your net. Spread your mail, God, into a bottle at 5 is not to find the bottle. Seagram 7 at 50 years old. Seems, and again, seems like in sewing or Levi's. Seems by no stretch of imagination concrete tracks as in El Greco painted, faces madcap humor. The break, the wit, the human mishap, old master of hard lives lives. The conductor of hard knocks witless now, and why not? Painted as broken, the winter trees weave as canvas. As poet backlogged, by mind mindless now the eye moves, removes the soft splinter, guilt that smote the queen out of eye or song of spring broke throat, as Vivaldi's season goes, up and down, back and forth, new leaves green, chartreuse, ghastly tender cheeks, the young black girl, an artist in from San Francisco, wanting to draw a Carthusian monk, to drawing heads. Great portrait artist in New York now, you've got a great head. If a face were only a face, it we must. Even in charcoal character, a sidewalk king, it seems, spelled S-E-E-M-S. Liszt out of lip. Don Liszt, claiming kin to Franz von Liszt, drinking at Cedar Tavern. Out of oral suck of sound, cigarette sticking in hand of century, smoke from eye, word of mouth, brainwashed by time and braininess. Ego it up to eye level of consciousness, reptile repeating rock gruel sounds, lizard licking the highlights out of neon, carnivore, cruel with city lights. Flesh-eating Mephistopheles leaned to left like Anopheles out for a night bite. Neat, sweet meat, ain't Keats? Even though the web was woven 7 times more, no God came after the fact. Weaving is believing. Creation 7 times less. Your drink drunk to death. Out of the bar 7 beers hold, wrapped in alcohol like an evil woman. Or 17th century cloaks, loaded like a toad, or Bosch's clammy word. Black-bitten and black-mouthed, listing to lust in the crust list. To weave a web after the spider is gone, leaves only the fly open. Hungry Hungarian with mandibles of dust, list ain't list without some trust. Or wishing or 7 years young. Where's the Vaughn with a lisp of lethal song, fronds laid out on the keyboard? List, like dinosaur behind the bar, wishing to arm wrestle his mental peers, is list without the Z. Zoroaster listing only to starboard, running an 8th Street bookstore. Tired, fatigued, hat, camouflaged cat, cerebellum splotched like spotted newt, a tiger salamander, or deceptive poet about to go underground. No rebel wearing a Chinese visor, but this chink vase you see on the Upper East Side, no one the wiser. Oh, what a beautiful design, intricate and all. I should leave if for the gods this act of 5th century potheads. West Side, no one the miser. Oh, what an ugly girl, simple and single. I should live if I am the devil. This sex act of 20th century flesh heads. North Side, bitter chilling wind biting into nape of neck. Keep the feet forward. Between buildings, no one the wiser. Kaiser, oh, what a freedom. Wordhead, South Side, no one the dumber. No, what a yes. Some warming his face. Less values, face cards played like human hearts. Face forwards, black heads, tails. In talk of conversation, noise, 2 TVs going full blast, your voice without statements, shrill, citizen or Inca bird of paradise, Latin for what ails you, your makeup exotic and parroted, oils the jungle, the beat, professor kind of listening to you. You rattling on like diamondback snake doesn't work. Well, maybe Leaderback was right, the Swan Incorporated. Goya's Maha, or Velasquez Rokeby Venus, at this point could see some back pedaling, ballet, birds coming in 4s to the art, duck-footed in pedaling, ducks and brushes, door-to-door artist, goosing it in to a goose shoot, shooting a gallery to swans of de la Chame, like verbs predicating predator, predictor, or swooping on a 2-toed sloth, the giant condor, wings beating in graceful space of jungle trees, wind-colored of wetness, your hand settling on mine, static screen cutting you out in profile, defiling my security, smell of warmth, I southward as in Chile, Veracruz or Santa Cruz or Tenerife, one bird or Spanish canary singing. 2.5 miles out, and they got religion. Christ, the answer button pen, 4 inches in diameter, orange and black, hello. It be thy name, tween Christ is the answer. Answers rather than questions, all too easy existence. Then the Q17 bus to Springfield Boulevard, full of bumps and grinds like a go-come girl sensation, jarring the bottom out, rodeo rider, penman, ship, looking 80 years old, scratching out the good word, the God's word. No pumpkin seed, pumping out the pumpkin seed face, carved out, smiling, pumped into answers, snaggle tooth. One of those April nights, answerable nights, where only questions drift into suburban mind, banal. Not even God is the answer. For a little hoodlums, teenage adults fall from bad seed, about to go to apple like pie or tart. And then you have a painting. Apparition. Boxes. Rows of truck crates. Man's the arrangement of the 7 senses. Then the river of Newark's reflections, the fog, grassy-eyed and salt marshes, black bird, red-winged as death, as forbidden angel of Eden, casting out the #1 killer, North America's catastrophe, Adam out of heaven on the fly, minus godless, loveless work, riding rails of desire, pale pipes, and phallic scintils, hung out in rows of heavy smoke, factories, air as Eve or Cancer, between telephone poles, sight of sign of life, old women, men, and youngborns singing the Worthington pump anthem, moving more fluids, more different kind of ways. Face, lighter than life, heavy as dew, me a joke, going to someone else's party, partly made up, saner a clown of wet intimidation, imitation, with dry eyes, makeup for occasion, and false-hearted. An old man approaches me looking dour. 3 more steps to the summit. Fog conductor conning his hat, a misshapen blue or squeezed into some sort of human mountain. At the top you can see all dilemmas, or nearly clearly. To our plural add vantage, to imagine ourselves full of godly good thoughts. When I look at you, the scene you see looks back at you. I take another train to get on the lighter side of life, and you take the devil with you, mad as any hatter. Realism. Asher B. Duran studies from nature of Catskills, Adirondacks, Hudson River regions of tight rocks, tight trees, tight light. Couldn't hold a candle to Constable's clouds, but North America's readability was at stake to be real. In the vanguard, realistic, tooth and nail. Hammered out leaf to leaf, incredibility of craft over possibility of art, observations obtained with lethal eye of scientists, collections of New York Historical Society. For a reproduction just right, New York, telephone, Department A, room 4121, 1095 Avenue of the Americas, New York. 136. Offer expires April 1st, 1979. Is nothing to Duncan. Oatmeal cookies and a hot cup of coffee. Dumb. Dante's Hell. Hotter the word, tooth to nail, subbing its substitute, subway. Enter, coalescent of vowels, steam in neck, collared by fur, foresight, molesight, bore in a tunnel, vision left out, left in English literature, a bad student still studying symbols, scratching with steam shovel hands off, she carrying her body, a Mondrian vertical to black lines by color, fixed by rectilinear white, walking precise as Giotto, practicing males cauterized by city lights, no female, one note, one bar, laid horizontal, pubescent, puberty, preaching the golden rule, about to be loved, out the dike with no damn finger wiggling for a woman, or this is a hole to be stuck in for a man, or poet. Add another exhibition, another Lita. One swan's enough. Again, long white, sterile snake is modern, sperm innuendos, sext and disbelieving. Celebrity clowns on the make, machine makers with fouled up pin feathers. Ducks slipping into the hypothetical phallic hype, goosing it in space. Whose gander does pander the sperm land? Foot-long hots, or foot-long dog rulers believing in a world of inches. Yes, I cannot blame you. Who gestures in courtship, dancing, jostling, ruling in aristocratic airs, democracy's bad arts interesting, but not convincing. Literal myths without literal mending mouths, nothing like bar of ivory soap on the Gold Coast, blacked out by hands of white myth. One swan's one thing, the rest is population. And here is a picture of Dorosita on 47th and 7th Avenue in the Manhattan night of Times Square. Trill log, it's 8 degrees above zero, 24 degrees below freezing. You, his cheeks are fuller now. Radio, the wind chill factor 16 below, with winds 24 miles an hour. You, he's gained weight, also in his legs. Radio, tomorrow, light snow increasing toward dark, me bedded down like a grizzly. I remember myself. In 1956 in Idaho, snowed upon on the 4th of July, trying to pop firecrackers. Radio, then heavy snowfall up to 8 inches, drifts maybe 3 feet. You, his poop is a good color, much thicker, since he's eating better. Me, wondering if Fra Angelico wore Fruit of Looms wings on boxer shorts. Radio, This is expected to be the worst blizzard since 1969, me thinking. That was the year Ezra Pound died. You look so cold. He's looking at you. Making it in the after come, what may the numbers of aftermath algebraic insects, tongued in, for the asking, even if Waterloo's H2O is over. No Napoleon faded to some fleshy, fact-filled answer, but water skeletons on the make, death in tongue swimming, the formula refusing to speak from pride. First-class words worked to first-class accommodations from third-class coach. I tried to tell you, digging out is not the answer to digging in. Like Geronimo, I've let my nails grow. Apache paint was never like this, John Wayne. The makeup, dirt, tooth and nail has turned to concrete or blacktop. No longer Blackfeet when I tried to kiss her. Lips like yours, she said. Her sun was in Cancer, said her moon was in Leo rising. She slipped off her bra, and her ascendant, I'm sure, was in Aries. 9/11. Pure shirts, blue pants, 5 in all, swinging for the love of Billy. Nightsticks for the frenzied nightingale, hysterical cops embarrassed. Instead of being loved, what's a misnomer like an official nightmare? Last night, each cop with another woman, his wife arguing till blue in the face, coming to no conclusion, but axe or sweat or bullet. Whose right stands up beyond whose story? Between the childless father, approached or reproached, open-handed, tell all 5 he'll take them on physically or mentally irate, or it, I take 5 and 1 go esoterically without the facts. All's fair in love or war, one says. Of course, the captain. This is a legal matter. His star shining for the marriage counselor. Brilliant commentary, like wise men or official pointing the way to Bethlehem or manger or precinct 7. I grab my son Ari and kiss and say, look at the boys in blue, amiss, looking for a horn to blow. Leaving them alone, they'll come home wagging their billy sticks behind them. And behind me the sheep's filed out after the goat, looking like a wolf or wolfsbane, inane but not insane, but humiliated. And here's another painting. All of this was done before 1980. Carol S. Between brandied Alexanders every 6 months, your voice shaky, trembling, trying to rub off on death's shrouds, dying of breath for oxygen, pulling power plays, becoming a first-class animal, training a first-class animal, visitor for Barnum Bailey's mental circus. How do I trust a baby elephant or mouse? The molecules in a room stilted with smoke. First-class cow BSing. A bulless agitating the sexes with a twist. A bitter lemon or chocolate mint. What do you think of Rocky 2? I'd like to go and place at racetrack, $2, 10 races, $20, and listen to Neil Sedaka, the beach baby. well off the rocks of Siberia, coasting or copulating in the Yeatsian foams, not like having creamed cacao, with a Russian bear hugging it, bearing